Most traders who spiral after a loss believe they have an emotional control problem. But the ones who actually fixed it found something simpler. They changed one number. In my first 3 months, I lost 92% of my trading account, and I blamed my mindset for years, when the actual fix was a single math calculation that I had never run. The wrong number costs you far more than the trade itself. There's a specific dollar amount where a trading loss flips from routine noise to a full revenge trading cascade, and it's different for every trader. Cross that line and the cascade cost 3 to 5 times the original trade. Most traders cross it on almost every trade they take. Before any surgery, an anesthesiologist runs one calculation. They take the patient's weight, multiply it by a fixed ratio, and arrive at a number in milligrams. Below that number, the patient feels everything. Above it, they don't wake up. The gap between those two outcomes is tiny, and it's different for every single person. No anesthesiologist has ever told a patient to be mentally tough enough to handle the wrong dose. They get the number right because the number is the fix. In trading, that number is your emotional break-even point, and almost nobody has ever calculated theirs. Your emotional break-even point is the exact dollar amount where a trading loss crosses from the cost of doing business to I need to make this back right now. Below it, you close the chart and move on with your evening. Above it, you reopen the chart 20 minutes later looking for a recovery trade. Take your monthly take-home pay divided by 100. For most part-time traders, that neighborhood is roughly where the line sits. So if you take home $4,000 a month, a $40 loss probably won't change your evening, but a $150 loss will rearrange it. You've probably been risking above that line for months and calling the fallout a mindset problem. And here's where standard advice breaks. If you risk 1% of a $5,000 trading account, that's a $50 trade. But if your emotional break-even point is actually $25, every properly sized trade is already double your real tolerance, and you are crossing the line before the trade even opens. Fix the number and the emotion fixes itself. Almost every trading psychology course that teaches you to manage the pain of oversized losses is selling you a painkiller for a wound that should never have existed. But a rough estimate is not enough, because if you are off by even a few dollars, every trade still crosses the line. The strange thing is that your conscious mind can't find it. You can't sit at your desk and decide how much loss you are comfortable with, because the part of your brain that panics during a live trade is not the part answering that question right now. For years, I traded with what I thought was proper risk. The maths looked safe on paper, but every loss sent me back to the charts within the hour. I'll just check the next setup. If it's there, I'll take it and get back to break even. I told myself it was discipline. But honestly, the oversized loss was doing the thinking for me. I read trading psychology books and tried journaling after every loss. None of it worked, and I was running out of things to blame except myself. But I was treating the symptom. The cause sat untouched in my position size calculator. The night I found the fix, I wasn't even trading. I was lying in bed, phone on my chest, scrolling the same calculator I'd been ignoring for months. I asked myself one question. If I lost this amount 30 times in a row, would I still sleep through the night? The answer was no. So I cut the amount in half and asked again. Still no. Cut in half again. And somewhere around a quarter of what I had been risking, the anxiety did not reduce. It vanished. That was the first time I had ever found my actual emotional break-even point. It was nowhere near the number that I had been risking. Step 1 is the sleep test. Open your trading account and look at your current risk per trade. Then close your eyes and picture waking up tomorrow to find that amount gone. If you feel anything, any pull to check your phone, any rehearsal of what you do next, the number is too high. Step 2 is the 50% slash rule. Don't negotiate. Don't shave $10 off and tell yourself that's enough. Cut the number exactly in half and run the sleep test again. And if the anxiety is still there, cut it in half again. Keep going until the visualization produces nothing at all, and your brain just files the number under business expense. That final number is your emotional break-even point. And every trade you take from tonight should be sized at or below it. Your body already knows this number. Your calculator just hasn't asked the question. You found your emotional break-even point. You sized below it. And the next loss barely registers. But some traders fix this number and still spiral. Because oversized risk is not the only trigger. Missing stop losses or a trading plan that never existed in the first place. Misdiagnosing your biggest trading leak costs months of fixing the wrong one. And that's what the free 3-minute diagnostic quiz in the description below catches before you waste that time. Get your diagnosis today with the link below in the description. But right now, there is a reason most traders who find this number abandon it within their first week. And it has nothing to do with willpower. You've got the number, but the first time your chart shows a setup and the correct position size looks tiny, something will whisper, just this once, I'll size up. That whisper is why most traders who find their threshold abandon it within a week. In 1983, a trader named Richard Dennis made a bet that trading could be taught. He recruited 14 ordinary people, taught them a complete rules-based system in 2 weeks, and funded their accounts with real money. Over 5 years, the group generated more than $150 million in profit. But some of these traders couldn't handle the drawdowns. Even though the system was mathematically profitable, Dennis went straight to the number. He lowered their nominal account value, which automatically shrunk their position sizes. Same system, same rules, just a smaller number. The traders who succeeded in that experiment were simply sized correctly for their personal tolerance. Every turtle who fought the system was fighting the same design flaw you might be fighting right now. Risk that was technically safe, but emotionally oversized. Tonight, run the sleep test and the 50% slash rule until you find your emotional break-even point. Then, open your position size calculator, set your risk per trade to that number, and write it on a sticky note next to your screen. That sticky note is your hard ceiling. If the correct position size for a trade is smaller than your broker's minimum trade size, you skip the trade entirely. If a setup looks perfect, but the size feels too small, you take it at the correct size, or you don't take it at all. The number doesn't move up. When the loss sits below your emotional break-even point, there is no emotional event to manage. No event, no revenge trade. This was a design problem the whole time, and tonight you are fixing it. And part of you is already calculating whether you could risk just a little more. So watch this video next, where I will show you the 5 rules that makes trading discipline automatic, so that your calm self's number is the only one that your stressed self can use. See you in that video.